Hello, John Dilworth here. We are commenting on King Ramses' Curse. I want to discuss these title cards. They're hyper-realized. It's been a pursuit of mine to kind of advance the work done at Warner Brothers during their golden age of cartoon making. Their title cards are so beautiful with their airbrush and they're so subtle, really inspiring. And so I had my long-term art director, Margaret Fry. She handled them all. She created them all. We basically analyzed Warner Brothers cards, and then she made them her own. Now, Margaret did the Dirty Birdie. She did Smart Talk with Raisin. She's been with us for a long time. Here we have these two cats, and they're mostly probably voiced by Peter Fernandez or Paul Scheffler, because these two were my Mel Blancs of Courage. I mean, I asked them to do anything, especially Paul Scheffler. He would just do improvisation, so I could ask him anything, when during the casting I'd have to sit down and think about who my villains would sound like. And of course, they're going to be the great actors, and the strange accents, people I admired who did funny stuff, like Arnold Stang, of course, or Alan Swift. I mean, these voices alone were inspiring. And so what is this setup all about? It's classic horror setup. Bill Marsili, who is, he was one of our staff writers, working with David Cohen as our head writer, and William Hohauser, probably the most funny man I've ever met. And we would sit around in the Warner Brothers tradition of Termite Terrace and beat out these premises. And the writer would go away and do a draft. He'd get it back to me after it'd been through, David. And I would start shaping it, by hand, making notes on the scripts themselves. And Egypt is an extraordinarily special place. I had gone on a trip. I sailed down the Nile, and I had come up with this episode. And I hate to ruin anybody's impressions, but this is truly an exercise in the kind of archaeological imperative that some states had in removing national treasures and artifacts. And if you go to Egypt, you're filled with this unbelievable craftsmanship. I mean, none of the pyramids make any economic sense, but the loss of culture and its beautiful artifacts, now you have to travel all over the world to see a lot of them. And of course, it's about, the battle between good and evil, as Courage often is. And in this episode, it's one of the few episodes that Courage actually has spoken lines. And I think we did maybe 6 episodes before Mike Lazo and his team over at Cartoon Network suggested that we should do without it. And I agreed, because in the original short film, Courage did not speak. But doing a series, it's scary to think that you're going to rely on a star that doesn't say anything, So I guess we found the right alchemy to make it work. And it was a really good call from Mike Lazo at Cartoon Network, because now we have this wonderful character voiced by Marty Grabstein. Look at his vocalizations. I mean, Marty, I always say that I hired him. I mean, he's my top choice because his eyebrows actually went up in the same direction that Courage did. And also he had a lot of passion and everything was on the surface. He was a very emotional performer, and that's what I wanted for Courage. So we're all very lucky about that. Courage's dog. Did you see Courage on his 4 legs? That's also very rare. We were experimenting in the very beginning of trying to find Courage. And you won't find him actually on his 4s in subsequent seasons 2, 3, and 4. Now, there's something I want all of you kids to think about and help resolve the riddle. Why, in this episode, is there a head of a moose hanging in the living room? This is a good one for you. And there's King Ramses. It was designed by my brother Jim. I loved his work. He was really quite a talented man, much more talented than I don't know. Well, I loved this kid. So he designed that. And we turned it into CG. I wanted to mix media everything. I'm in love with mixed media. I've always done it in all my independent shorts. And so I had just come back from Egypt. And if you think about all the art in the Egyptian style, very flat. And if they moved, if they turned over, it would look very much like Pa Rappa, the rapper. You know, that vehicle for PlayStation. He just turned around, it was like paper moving, you know? I love that noise. And there you saw a photograph of what some fans would recognize as Ned from Noodles and Ned. But Ned is really just a caricature of myself, of course, a naked yellow man. And his portrait appears in my works, and as well as other talent that worked on the film, people in my family. Oh, this is lovely, where there's no electrical short-circuiting, nobody dies. You know, Muriel should be fried, the whole house. But no, nothing like that. So wewater. I love water. I have a terrible fear of drowning. And we've done many episodes where water, and look at this, it's like this ability that we borrowed directly from this mischievous quality of the golden age of Warner Brothers cartoons, the Clampetts, the Tex Averys, even if he was MGM at the time, it didn't matter. But this sensibility, where anything you needed in life was just there, and you just had to go and make it work for you. It's really a magical thinking. And it's a kind of comedy that especially William and I don't know, excel in. But this is our universe, even when we're not making cartoons. And I am voicing Ramses there, King Ramses. And we're making funny things in the mix to give it more spread and sound like it's from another world. And here is this wonderful music from Jody Gray and Andy Ezrin. Now, it's straight from the maestro's mouth. It's not Egyptian music or Saharan, but it actually is Thai. They use Thai instruments, horns, that they're called a tray, a metal thing, and a sang, which is a conch shell. And they simply applied their alchemy to their trade, to these instruments, and made this kind of creepy but loving song or melody. And the vocals is a stupid disco song. The man in gauze, he's no Santa Claus. And it's supposed to be horribly scary and painful music, but it's anything but. And again, this is the qualities of what I wanted to bring across in a cartoon show. The horror and the comedy, but the comedy based on absolute irrationality. And these symbols, life is symbols, right? And here's Courage with his, where did he get the bat, you know? Oh, and the takes, you know, what are we going to do? We had a kind of library of takes. We had to work those out because he's going to be screaming all the time in these things. And these, if you didn't get the reference of the Tasmanian devil from Warner Brothers, again, cutting through the landscape and converting all things into something else. which I started to do in the Chicken from Outer Space with the laser gun. And there's something about threes, the acts of threes. I don't know why. I feel like it's necessary. And there's that moose head again. I need somebody to explain that to me. And you have this, again, battle, courage, representing good and the virtues. And Eustace, this greedy, self-interested. And Muriel's so excited, she's so stressed that she's cooking and doing I don't know what, but there's no plums. And Thea White was the voice of Muriel, and Thea is not Scottish. And look, he punks out. Traditional habit amongst these cowardly evils. Even when at the moment of their own demise, do they give up the thing that they so desire until they can get it back again. And Lionel Wilson as the farmer, oh my goodness, this man, everything he said was gorgeous. Mister! And that laugh, I mean, it was so wonderful to have him. So this is all our great writing, which is really just set up for punchlines. Like Eustace asking, he's going to be wealthy, but he just wants a lawn chair. And so we're coming to the end of this allegory, I guess, if I could even say that. And the music from Jody and Andy on the theme, that theme that comes from the middle of America, sort of like post-Dust Bowl. They captured it very well. And this is a trademark of myself. Evil must be punished. Thank you! It's been a blast. I hope this was enjoyable for you all.